Nothing to do with this time. It's talking about like the time over the course of your life. I don't know much about it, so see you later. No, I'm just kidding. But I know someone who does. So I've actually been talking to, how's my hair darling? Talking to Doug Hawkins. He's actually a life coach, and he spoke to me briefly about timeline therapy, and I was very intrigued. And I was also thinking about how you can kind of put it in an everyday life situation. So, timeline therapy would be helpful for those people who would, let's just say, have road rage, maybe. Maybe there's something in their past that makes them feel like they don't matter, that they're insignificant. So, if someone cuts them off on the road, they feel like their needs aren't being met or that their voice doesn't count. So, in some weird way, they would react differently to that than what someone else would. And that's just my opinion of it. Another thing, too, is if, with fights, with family members or friends or even like school kids, some things are triggers for some people, but are not triggers for other people. And so I think for most of that comes down to not specifically a childhood experience, but something in the past that's happened that makes them feel sensitive to a situation that brings up those emotions. So another good thing is I think Doug mentioned time stamping. I'll have to get him on here to explain in a bit better details. So it's kind of similar to like helping you go back and imagining a time in your life that was a bit emotional. It may not have been that traumatic, but it was emotional, and you can go back and identify how you're feeling, and somehow you can sort of accept that something happened. You can possibly forgive yourself, forgive whoever, and then move on and have a different then you have a different memory of a certain situation. And so with time stamping, and I'll pop down below if I'm wrong, and I might get Doug to jump in the comments as well. Um, that what you can do is at the end of your day, if something did not go right, something doesn't go right at all, and you're just kicking yourself up the behind, you can actually go to bed and or sit somewhere quietly and rethink your day without like kicking yourself too bad. Rethink your day and think, what would I have done differently? Maybe next time I can do this. And so when a certain situation comes up again, then you've already sort of thought it through and you can improve on next time. But life is full of challenges, and I think sometimes we are led to believe that life is great and that everything will come easy. And that if you're learning in school, if you don't get it, then you'll never get it, and that's so not true. There's so many like famous people in the world. I always harp on about this, but it's very very dear to me that you can't sort of take too much of your school life with you throughout your life, because most people who are being successful weren't very well at school, which leads me to my next point, is don't take those stories with you into parenthood or lifedom. Don't take the things that were told to you as a child in class by your classmates or your teacher, because we're all learning and it's a different situation. Back then everyone learns and grows at different rates. So I just want to just tell everyone that try and identify your triggers. Try and think, why does this person really annoy me, or why did that situation get me wound up for? Why is that? And look, if you're on there live, drop down some comments below. Let me know where you're tuning in from as well. I'd like to know how far my little voice is carrying. So if you've got any experience with timeline therapy, I'd love to hear about it. I haven't had any personal experience about it, but having a life coach as a friend has been very, very interesting. We always had great conversations beforehand, but now it's like he knows my struggles. It's a lot easier to get down to a proper conversation without any barriers and everything. So yeah, drop a comment down below if you've ever experienced timeline therapy. If you've got more questions too, drop them down below, and I can pop you in contact with Doug too, because he is just a great guy. He's got some great dad jokes too, if you're into those. Maybe we'll do a dad joke session one time. All right, guys, I'll catch you later, and hope you have a Merry Christmas if I don't speak to you beforehand. Bye.